will see if else construct. So in your while coding, right, you want to execute some part of the code based on some condition. Only if the condition is true, you want to execute this code. Okay, so you can have a condition like this, right? Only if the time is less than 10, I want good morning. If the time is greater than 20, I want the variable name to be good day. Okay, so if this condition is true, this code will be executed. Once this code is executed, control will not come here because you have an else here. Else means only if this is false, the control will come here. Okay, and only if this is false, else this condition will come here. If this condition is true, then there will be no checking here. The control will come to the end of the if construct. Okay, so this is how this if else works. If you know the normal English, you will understand easily, right? If the condition is true, execution here. If this condition is false, else if this condition is true, this statement will be executed. If this is false and this is false, then only this statement will be executed. Right? This is what is if else construct. Okay, and we also have something called a switch. Right? So here, right, I am basically switch. You can have any variable or any expression here. So basically, in the date, I am getting the day, right, which is what is the day I am getting, right, and based on this value, I am assigning the variable day. If this value is 0, means I am assigning day as Sunday. Okay, and then break is there. Break will act, when you execute break, the control will come out of the switch. Okay, so if this value turns out to be 1, then the control will come to this case and the day will be assigned Monday and break and the control will come out. If the value is any other day apart from 5, right? Okay, if the value is any other day apart from 5, no case will be executed. If the value is 6, this statement will be executed. So switch cases, based on what you are giving in the switch, the corresponding case will be executed. If the break is not specified, if the break is not there, then this case will be, and the value comes out to be 0, this case will be executed and the next case will be executed. The break is not there. So all the case will be executed. One you have, if you want to break, you have to put a break. Then only after executing this case, control will come out of the switch. So that is one thing we have to remember very carefully. We can try it. Okay, suppose right today is Thursday, right? So it's getting a date and getting a day, and then right and date today is Thursday is there, right? Now what I am doing is I am taking this break out. What will happen is control will come here. Day is Thursday, okay, but there is no break, so it will come to this case. Day is Friday, so Friday will be assigned today, and if I run, it will be Friday. But actually today is Thursday. Even if I take this break out, right, first this case will come here. Right, it will come to this case. Okay, you can also so it will come to this case, and then it will come to this case, and then there is no break here, so it will come to this case. So Saturday will get printed. Okay, we will get into loops. So loops, first is the for loop. For loops, you see that there are two semicolons. Here is one semicolon, here is one semicolon. Okay, so this part is the initialization statement. Okay, how the control gets executed here is, first this statement will be executed. Okay, when the control comes here, right, when it's trying to execute the for, the initialization statement, right, this is initialization, this is condition checking, this is increment. Okay, this is init, let's assume this is init. First this init statement will be executed. Okay, so I will be assigned to 0, then it will go to condition. And it will check condition is true or not. If the condition is true only, it will come inside the for loop. Loop is used to execute set of statement repeatedly. Otherwise you have to put the statement like this. Right, the same statement you have to put multiple times. So that you can have a loop, so the same statement will be executed that many number of times. Okay, so first I is 0, this condition is true. Okay, it comes here, it takes car of I. Okay, we will try to execute that and I will show you. So once the statement is, the condition checking init part is checked, condition is checked, condition is true, this statement is executed. Once the statement is executed, when the for loop ends, the control will go to the increment part. It will increment and then again the condition will be checked. If this is true, again come execute the statement. Again we will go to the increment part and then come to the condition, check, come here. So only once the init condition will be executed. After that, condition check, execute. Increment, condition check, execute. That is how for loop works. Now if you see, right, I have an array, okay. So I am iterating from I equal to 0 to the car length. What is always the car length? It will be 6, correct? So I less than, so 0 to 5, this loop will be executed. So first I is 0. What is car of 0? You are adding everything to the text, okay. You are adding it plus equal to, so everything you are adding to the text. First BMW will be added, then a break. BR is what? Line break. And then instead of line break, what I am doing is I am giving a space. What will happen? All will be printed with a space alone. If I give two space will be printed. Oh, multiple space is not taking. Okay, space will be printed. So let's have BR itself. Okay, all will be printed. There's a line break. Okay. Now I value changes from 0. First time running I value will be 0. Then I will be incremented. I value will be 1. The condition will be checked. Condition is true. Then come here. Cars of 1 is what? Volvo. Then I value will be 2. This is how this loop goes on. Okay. Now if I put 2 here, I value will start from 2. So 0, 1 will not be printed. It will start from sub. Okay. So you know that it starts from 2, it starts from sub only. Okay. This is how array and loop works. There is another kind of loop is for in loop is there. Okay. So suppose you can have a variable x. So x in person. What is person? Person is an object. It has 2 variables. Right. So for x in person, right, it has 2 values, right. One is this first name and second is this. It has 3 values actually, and then third is this, right. So x value will take the key. X in x will take the key value. So x will, first time the loop is running, x will be f name, and person of f name, right, which is John. John will be assigned to text. Okay, and then when the loop runs second time, x will be L name. And person of L name is nothing but do. Do will be assigned to text, will be added to text. And third time it will be x will be age. Okay. So if I run this, so f name, L name, age, all the key values are coming to x. And what is added to the text? Person of x, that is the value is added. John, Doe and 25 is what is added to the text, and that is what is getting printed here. Okay, so I can also have x of, there is another loop called of. Okay, if you do that, actual value will be coming to x, not the key. Okay, what is the actual value? X of person. What is the actual value? John is the actual value. So actual value will be coming to x. So I think the object is not iterable. That's why we are getting an error, right? The person is not iterable. You cannot iterate over an object. Okay. Instead, if you give an array, right, I think you can iterate. Okay. Let's give an array and then check. Two, 5, 6, 7. Okay. You're just adding all the elements. So x of array. Try to run this and see. Okay, so now it is iterable. It is each element is added to this text, and the text is printed. Okay, okay. So one more important thing is, please do not use foreign. Okay, if the order is important, means if I use foreign, right, The thing is, the for in, like suppose I use for in instead of for off, I'm using for in, right? What would be the x value? Here, instead of I'm using in, right? What will be the x value here? Okay, so for in actually returns the index. If you need a value, okay, so it just copies the value, right? It copies the index alone. If you need the value, what you have to do? You have to use the array name and then index it. Now you will get the value in the text. Okay, now we are getting the value in the text. So for in gives the index. Okay, next loop is actually for each. So when you have an array, you have to put array dot for each. Okay, and then the argument to for each is a function. Okay, so for each element in the array, this function will be called. The function has 3 arguments. Okay, value, index, and array. So for each values, right, this function will be called. So this will be called when the value is 45. And then what is the index value? Index value is 0. So 45 is 0. And the whole array also is the third argument. The whole array is the complete array. So when I put the console log, right, it will be 45, 0, and then the whole array. Right? And then I'm adding the value to the text. So text will contain 45 plus 1 space. Again this function will be again called. For what? For 4. Value will be 4, index will be 1, again the complete array. So this will be called for all elements in the array. So for each is a loop which will call a function for all elements in the array, which is we call the for each. Okay, and it's not that you need to have all the 3 variables. I think you need not. You can have only the values alone. Okay, in this case also I think it should work. Okay, values alone is coming. So this is also all the parameters are not mandatory for the function we pass. Okay, based on your requirement you can pass the parameters.